Today we're going to learn the treble crochet or triple crochet as it's sometimes called. Treble crochet is a really tall stitch, so you're often going to see it used in loose and lacy things. To begin, make a slip knot and then chain 13 stitches. You will need 3 more stitches than the number of stitches that you want to have. In this case, we want 10 stitches, so we're going to chain 13 stitches. All right, now that I have my 13 chains, it's time to start my triple crochet. And I'm probably going to interchangeably use triple and treble crochet. They mean the exact same thing. So when we start our triple crochet, we're going to go into the 5th chain from the hook. So count down 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to start right there. Now a triple crochet begins with 2 yarn overs. So yarn over and yarn over again. Now we're going to count down to that 5th stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I just like to go into the back half of my chain on my very first row. Dive in, yarn over and pull up a loop, and you should have 4 loops on your hook. Now you're going to yarn over, pull through 2 until you get back to just 1 loop. So yarn over, pull through 2 once, yarn over, pull through 2 a second time, yarn over, pull through 2 one final time, and you are back to 1 stitch on your hook. So what we have here is actually 2 stitches already for our row. We have our 4 chains that are going to count as our first stitch, and we have our first triple crochet. We should have 8 chains remaining to keep doing triple crochets. So let's do one more together. Yarn over twice and find your next chain to dive right into. Yarn over and pull up a loop, and you should have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 until you get back to just 1 loop. Once, twice, and a 3rd time, which is of course why it's called triple or treble crochet. Now just continue making your triple crochets all the way across until you get to that last chain, and I will meet you there. I've made it to my very last chain stitch here, but of course, before I go into what I believe is my 10th stitch, I'm going to stop and check. So I've got my chain as my first stitch, and then I've got my 2nd stitch, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So go ahead and yarn over twice, dive into that last stitch there, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 until you are down to 1 stitch again. Okay, so we've completed our very first row. So let's talk about how we do the 2nd row and all the rows after that. You're going to chain 4 for your turning chain. And then turn counterclockwise so that we are ready to work back across our row again. Now our 4 turning chains are going to count as our first stitch, so we are also going to skip this first stitch here. We do that because the chains are going to count as the stitch for us. So we're going to go ahead and go into the 2nd stitch. So yarn over twice, skip all 4 chains plus that first stitch, and go into the 2nd stitch. Make sure to get both loops there. Yarn over and pull up a loop. You should have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through 2 until 1 stitch remains. So what we already have is 2 stitches to start off our row. We have the 4 chains, which count as our first stitch, and we know that because we also skipped the first stitch in order to accommodate for it. And our 2nd stitch here is our triple crochet. So go ahead and make triple crochets all the way across until you get to the very end, and I will show you what to do with that chain on the end. All right, I'm at the end of my row. I have actually 2 stitches remaining, the last triple crochet and this turning chain from the previous row. So go ahead and yarn over twice, go into that last stitch there, and we'll make our second to last triple crochet. Now, of course, I'm going to check and make sure that that next stitch is really my 10th. So if I pull out this row, I've got a turning chain. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So this is my 10th stitch. So let's look at this stitch. This is the chain 4 from the beginning. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches, and I'm looking at the back of the chain here. These are the little butts of the crochet chain. And I want to go in the top one or the 4th one right here. And I want to go in this space where I'm underneath the butt and this stitch here. So yarn over twice, go ahead and find that 1, 2, 3, 4th chain again, and go right under that space so you get both those stitches, yarn over, pull up a loop, you should have 4 loops, and yarn over, pull through 2, until 1 stitch remains. And that's the end of your second row. Continue working your triple crochet rows just like the row before until you reach the desired length. So go ahead and chain 4. And then turn counterclockwise to work the next row. Yarn over twice, and we're going to skip the chains and skip the first stitch since our chain counts as 1 stitch, and start here in the 2nd stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and you should have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 until 1 stitch remains. So go ahead and work your triple crochets all the way across this row, and I will meet you again at the end. I am again at the end of the row. I've got 1 more stitch left plus my turning chain. So I'm going to go ahead and work a triple crochet in that last stitch. And now I just have the turning chain left. So I'm going to count up till I find the 4th chain. 1, 2, 3, and 4. It'll be the top one, the closest to it. And again, I want to go right underneath that butt, so right underneath there. Yarn over twice and dive into that space right there underneath the butt so that you get 2 strands. Yarn over and pull up a loop. And then yarn over, pull through 2 until 1 stitch remains. So now you know how to do the triple/treble crochet. As you can see, it really is quite lacy. It's really good for those very open projects. I will link a couple of patterns down below that take advantage of the triple crochet and even taller stitches if you are interested in growing your skills that way. Thank you so much for participating in the Basic Crochet series, and I hope to have you back very, very soon.